This is my life. Too many books, so little time. Hey friends and book lovers, welcome. Today I am all spookily dressed up for my October TBR video. I am really excited that it's fall. I have been waiting for fall for so long. For whatever reason, I didn't really have much of a summer, hence the absolute paleness because I did not get to see the sun at all. I was working a lot. But it's fall and I am just so stoked for this. I can't wait for all the spooky things to happen this month. I can't wait for all the apple picking and fall pictures and pumpkins and yummy, delicious basic girl drinks that I'm gonna be having. It's all gonna be amazing. So I'm really excited for my October to be read video because I can't wait to share with you what I'm planning on reading in the month of October. So the first book I'm gonna be reading as part of this horror book club that is on Gregory LaPrisha's Discord is called Imaginary Friend by Stefan Chbosky, I think is how you pronounce his name. It's a horror thriller chunker of a book. I think it's like 800 pages or something like that, and it is huge. So I'm in for a ride. It's gonna be my first horror book that I've ever read. I don't think I've ever read any other horror books, so I'm excited but also really tentatively scared to read it. I will probably be reading everything during the day, nothing at night, because I'm a wuss like that and a complete wimp when it comes to anything scary. But I'm really excited to get into a new genre, so I can't wait to read that, and then I'll be reading it obviously and able to chat with it with a bunch of people from Discord, so that's gonna be amazing. This book is about an imaginary friend, of course. We have a mother and a child, and she's fleeing from an abusive relationship, and they become part of this really tight-knit community in a different town, and then her son goes missing, her young son, and he comes back completely unharmed, but he is not unchanged is what the synopsis says. So I think we're gonna have a lot of spooky child things happening in this horror thriller novel, and I am definitely here for it, so I cannot wait. And you know, I'm also kind of terrified. So the next book that I'm gonna be reading in October, keeping up with our spooky dark kind of theme, and that's gonna be, finally, that's gonna be Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I know that this is some folks' favorite Leigh Bardugo novel, and I've heard that it's very triggering. There's a lot of trigger warnings for this book. I went on and I researched it after being told by some other booktubers, like, just FYI, there's a lot of trigger warnings. I'm still gonna get into this. This is one of those secret dark academia things, and it happens right at Yale, which is really close to me. I live in Massachusetts and Connecticut is really close to us, so this is probably gonna hit a little closer to home than I'm expecting, but this is totally in that dark academia theme, and I'm buddy reading this with Joanna over at Joanna Sousa. We love to buddy read, so I can't wait to get into this with her and just see what her thoughts are. I love dark themes, and I think we're probably both gonna really enjoy this from the reviews that I hear, so I can't wait for this one. If you guys have read this, or if you read Imaginary Friend, leave your comments down below. I definitely wanna know what you think of these two kind of spookier type of thrill books, if you will. And I think this one does still have some thrill elements in it, even though it is more of a fantasy novel. The next one I'm reading is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahurin. Now, I know I didn't like Serpent and Dove, and I always say it, but I've read Serpent and Dove, I've read Blood and Honey, I did a vlog on Serpent and Dove, and it was fun the second time around. It was more fun. I didn't reread the Blood and Honey, which is the second novel, but I am planning on reading Gods and Monsters this month, hopefully with a group of folks that are also reading this trilogy with me, and I'm really intrigued to see how this story is gonna end. I do need to find a recap for Blood and Honey so that I can remember all the details that happened in that book so that I can go into Gods and Monsters prepared, but I am really excited to finish out the trilogy, see if it gets any less ridiculous and any more satisfying. But all in all, I'll just be happy to kind of finish it off and put that behind me and not have that as an open series, because I don't want to DNF it. I want to finish it just because I want to know what happens, but it's just not my favorite ever. So I'm excited to see how it goes, see if the third book is really all the hype that it's been hyped up to be, or if it'll just be kind of like an okay read for me like the other two have been so far. So this month we're continuing on with Count of Monte Cristo. I am very behind on this. I'm not even like, I don't think I'm past halfway point yet, and we're supposed to be finishing it off in October. I think I'll probably end up reading the majority of this in October and finishing it off like early November before we have our last live show. So this will probably be like a November wrap up read, and it just is so long because I've been trying to focus on other reads that I had to finish as well. But I am really loving this one. I love the writing style, which was a complete surprise for me because I didn't think I would ever love any older, more classics type of writing style, but I really love the writing style of Alexandre Dumas, and I really love the Count of Monte Cristo story so far. I don't know what's going to happen towards the middle. I think I'm hitting kind of a more boring part of the unabridged version, which is probably why it's taking me longer to read, and I have to try to push through that with the audiobook. But I'm really enjoying the story. I'm really enjoying the writing and just seeing how things fall together, because there's definitely been a few times in this book that I've been really surprised by the things that have happened, or the way that things have happened, or the way that characters have met, and it just blows my mind. I honestly really love the way that Dumas has written his story, and I can totally see why this is one of people's favorite classic books, and I think that it might also end up being one of my more favorite classics books, which is good and bad because it's an amazing story, but it's a huge book. So rereading this is going to be another task whenever it comes to getting a reread in for Count of Monte Cristo. If you're reading along with us, I don't know if we're going to do a live show in October. We'll put that up if we are, but we'll obviously definitely do one in November to finish off the book and talk about the entirety of the story and the book itself. So stay tuned for more information on that to come. But yeah, hopefully you guys are loving this read along with us, because I am loving it as well. So the next really exciting read is going to be Jade City by Fonda Lee. I'm finally getting to this pretty much epic trilogy that everyone is talking about. Jade Legacy, which is the third one, I think is going to be released in December. So if I start in October and I read one a month, by the time the third one comes out, I should be very ready to jump into it. Hopefully I will love it. I'm a little bit on the fence of if I'm gonna love this or not. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but I don't know if I'm gonna love it as much as a lot of other readers have loved it, just based on the fact that like mafia type of stories aren't really my thing. I love mafia movies, love The Godfather, love anything like that, but I don't know if I like mafia stories and books. So we're gonna see, but I have high expectations based on how hyped this one has been on BookTube and how much of a BookTube darling this is. And I feel like the love for it is widespread among people on BookTube versus people on BookTube that don't usually read or like the BookTube darling picks. So I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know much about it besides, again, it's a family mafia story, and we're in a magical city where the actual jade stone is like a magical type of stone. And that is all I know about it, and that's all I'm gonna go into knowing about it, just because I want to be surprised and I want to see where the story takes me in this one. And hopefully if I love it, I can get Jade War, and I might order Jade War now just so that I can have it if I want to binge read it. But I'm really excited for this one. We are buddy reading this for the month of October over on the Atlantis Discord. So if you guys wanted to join that Discord, definitely do so. I will link it down below so you guys can check it out and join us for an October buddy read of Jade City, which I am so excited to finally be getting to. All right, and I really didn't want this TBR to be more than like 5 books, but here we are because this is my life. Too many books. So little time. But my last book, which I think is my 7th book, no, this is my 6th book, but even still I did want this to be 5 books because I like to keep them short so that I can mood read other reads if I want to. Either way, I've already kind of started reading this one, and that is Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Call, and I know that I'm going to read the majority of this, or at least the rest of this, in October, so I thought I would put it on my list. This is a book that I had on my Dark Academia TBR list, so if you haven't seen that video, I will link it up above and down below. I go through a list of like 5 or 6 books that I think would qualify as Dark Academia, and because at least this first book in Master of Sorrows talks about a magical school, and it's kind of like a Dark Lord origin story, I figure it kind of fits the Dark Academia theme. So I included it in that list, and I am happy to finally be getting to this. But I've read like the first bit of this, and so far so good. I can't say much about it since I'm not too far into it, but I am really excited to finally be getting to this, like I said, and I just want to know if this book lives up to its hype, because there's a small group of people that I've read this series or started this series, but I haven't heard it blow up. So I'm really curious to see if it's really good, because then I am ready to sing its praises. The books are beautiful. I have both the first one and the second one that are out right now. And this is, from what I've heard, supposed to be like a really long 14-book trilogy, which is what I'm told. I don't want to start a 14-book trilogy, but I am just so intrigued by this story that I can't wait. If any of you have read this, which I don't think I really know anyone that's read this, but if any of you have read this, let me know in the comments down below if you've enjoyed it or otherwise, because I'm really curious to see what other thoughts there are out there about this first book. But I can't wait to get into this. I can't wait to read this. I can't wait to review this. I think it's gonna be really amazing. So I have high hopes for this one, I have to say. I have really high hopes. And this one and then Ninth House were, again, both on my Dark Academia TBR list. So it's kind of nice and satisfying to be getting through like another TBR list as well. So that feels good. And then the rest of the books for the month of October, I'm just planning on those to be mood reads if I have time to get through more books, just because I want to be able to mood read a little bit into my months as well. I feel like a lot of the times I'm scheduling all these buddy reads, I don't have time for my own mood reads, and then it makes it harder to feel invested in the books and feel excited about what I'm reading next. So I'm leaving time for some mood reading so I can choose other books or pick up other books between or after these ones. So very excited for the month of October though. I'm planning to be reading again spooky reads, and hopefully I'll mood read some spooky reads that I have, because at Dark Academia, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read more of that. And I feel like October, November, Scorpio season are the perfect time to read those. And I mean, you can read them anytime, but for me, it's just the most perfect time to be reading those types of books. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please click on that like button. That really does help support my channel. And if you like this content and you want to see more, and you want to see the wrap up for these books in early November, please hit that subscribe button.